In our last session, we read a letter from a woman who asked why women are better at loving than men. I first emphasized that we talk far too much about how men and women are different. It's far more useful to understand that what unites them, their basic need for real love, far outweighs any of their differences. Then I acknowledged that there are elements that make men and women different, biological, spiritual, and other differences, that I will not address simply because they are incompletely understood and far too complicated for me to deal with in this venue. Now, back to the question of why, or perhaps more appropriately, whether women are better at loving than men. So, are they? Are women more loving than men? Maybe. That's possible. But it's really impossible to quantify. And the entire question is really ridiculous compared to the truly important question, which is whether either sex, whether men or women, are doing enough to be unconditionally loving to the people around them. After interviewing thousands of people from all over the world, and after studying human behavior in many other ways for decades, I can tell you the answer to that question easily. On a scale of 1 to 10, most men and women are successfully sharing real love at a level of like 2. I'm not joking. So, does it make any sense for us to take any time to answer the question of whether women are giving at a level of, say, 2.3 compared to, say, 2.1 for men? When we're striving for a level of 9 or 10, quibbling over who's at 2.1 versus 2.3 becomes kind of an absurd discussion, don't you think? What really matters is that on average, we're all doing a pretty lousy job of loving each other unconditionally. So we need to be focusing on that problem rather than pointing out how one group is doing a microscopically better job of loving than another group, which we really can't prove anyway. What we can talk about, and what is important, is how men and women love differently, rather than better or worse. And that discussion can be quite useful to everyone. Men and women have an equal need for real love, and that need is enormous. It's oceanic. When we don't have enough real love, the emptiness is unbearable, and we'll do almost anything to fill that emptiness. Whatever we use to feel better temporarily in the absence of real love becomes a form of imitation love. Things like money, sex, the conditional approval of others, and the sense of power we get from controlling people. Without enough real love in their lives, both men and women desperately try to find happiness by filling themselves up with all the imitation love they can get. Perhaps the biggest difference between men and women is in the ways they use imitation love and in the getting and protecting behaviors they choose, which we will discuss in our next session.